Chapter 1. The day Julian and I got hitched, a scrolling ribbon of thought bubbles erupted over his head. Finally married her. My wifey. My wifey. Happy, happy, happy. Stay cool, Julian. Your brand is ice-cold abstinence. She can't find out you've been crushing for 10 years. Me, internally? What is happening? We agreed this was strictly to keep my family afloat and shut his parents up. We agreed he's had the one who got away for 7 years. We agreed he would never, ever fall for me. The clerk handed us our 2 red certificates with a canned smile. Congratulations and happy newlywed life. Julian accepted his with zero expression and passed me mine, voice like crushed ice. Pleasant partnership, Miss Vance. I studied him, 360 degrees of perfection and not a single extra twitch, yet the bubbles over his head were losing it. A wifey looked at me. Does she think I'm hot? Her fingers brushed mine, so soft, I'm never washing this hand again. Stop calling her Miss Vance, say wifey. No, that'll spook her, hold it together, Julian. Pleasant partnership? Screw that, I want us rocking matching walkers at 90, me. Before we continue, subscribe and comment where you're tuning in from. My grip tightened on the marriage certificate, maybe bankruptcy stress was making me hallucinate. Julian, Riverdale's crown prince of private equity, my father's lifelong rival's son. We grew up in the same country club jungle and had been at war for 20 years. He was the living other people's kid, chill, controlled, perpetually number one, forever unruffled. I was the tornado in designer sneakers. A week earlier my family's company hit a cash wall and started circling the drain. Dad's hair went white overnight, Mom cried through 3 boxes of tissues. While I was begging ex-friends who suddenly had amnesia, Julian showed up. He sat opposite me, posture aristocratic, tone detached. Sophie, let's deal. I save your family, you marry me. I blinked. Why? I need a wife to stop my parents nagging. You need money. He paused. Relax, there's someone I've liked 7 years. Pure contract, no interference. 1 year, a fat settlement, we part friends. That moment, staring at his gorgeous, glacial face, I felt relief and something emptier. I said yes, because nobody else could float the Vance empire. Now, this mental ticker of 10-year crush my wifey, what? And where exactly is the 7-year white moonlight? Outside City Hall his black Maybach idled. The chauffeur opened the door, Julian shielded the frame with his palm. Careful, don't let wifey bump her gorgeous head, I'd die. Her hair smells like, what shampoo is that? Wanna sniff. Stop. Ice Prince persona, no PDA. I ducked in, he followed, and the cabin shrank around us. Cold cedar laced with the ghost of cigarette smoke invaded my lungs. We sat a fist width apart, him statuesque, eyes front. The bubbles cascaded. Nervous, first time this close to wifey, her lashes, so long. Skin, so pale. Even Dream Sophie can't compete. Wanna hold her hand, no, too soon. Say something, weather? Lame. Work? Grim. Useless. 10-year crush and zero chat. Watching the city blur, I felt my mouth bend. Interesting, Julian. Buried pretty deep, aren't you? The car stopped at Cloudtop Paradise, the capital's priciest zip code. Our place, he clipped. Your stuff's already moved. I followed him into a mansion of brutal black-white-gray silence. Your suite, 2nd floor, first left. I'm at the far end. Want a room share, but contract says separate beds. Why'd I write that? Chill, plenty of time. Someday I'll lure wifey under one blanket. I fought a grin. We're not co-sleeping? He froze, ears flamed. Eyes anywhere but me, he managed. Contract, mutual non-interference. She asked. She wants to bunk with me. Stay frosty, could be a trap. Want to yell, yes, wifey, let's. Rein it in, Julian, scare her and she's gone. I almost burst. Got it, I drawled, nodding sagely. Wouldn't want your white moonlight upset. The bubbles detonated. White who? I invented that so she wouldn't feel trapped. Wifey, please. You're my only moon. How do I fix this naturally? His jaw locked. After an eternity he grated, exactly. Glad you understand. I nearly imploded. Keep it up, Julian, let's see how long the ice holds. Chapter 2. Dragging my Rimowa, I sauntered into the master suite, and froze. Cream tones everywhere, my favorite. A fat beanbag under floor-to-ceiling windows, the exact lamp I'd bookmarked. The walk-in brimmed with new season pieces, all my size. The vanity carried every skincare and makeup item I use, down to the discontinued perfume. Less a hurried move, more calculated ambush. Trailing me, Julian's bubbles fired again. She loves it. 3 months prep, worth it. That perfume took 5 back channels, few. Anything for wifey smile. Aloud, threw it together. Swap anything you hate. I tiptoed, brushed his ear, and whispered, I love it, thank you, husband. The word left my lips soft and slow. Julian turned to stone. Bubbles paused, then erupted. She said husband? Replay button. System, clip that. 10,000 loop, heart, exploding. She smells, so close, dying. I stepped back, batting lashes. Problem? Don't like the nickname? And no. He coughed, rebooted the glacier voice, suit yourself. Love it. Say it again. Stay regal, Quinn. Night. I emerged in silk, hair damp, theatrically floppy. Julian sat erect on the sofa, Bloomberg blaring. I waved the hairdryer. Husband, arms tired, can't reach the back. His pupils contracted, Bubbles screamed. Wifey seducing me, collarbones, legs, RIP. Do it, blow dry her. Trap, stay pure. Housekeeper can help, off duty. I pouted, tugging his sleeve. 2 minutes? He stood, confiscated the dryer. Once, never again, yes. Wifey hair time. I sat on the rug, warm air glided through his fingers. Like silk, want a kiss, no, monk mode. Angle warning, look away, saint. His hands trembled. Done, he slammed the dryer down and bolted. Wait. I wrapped arms around his narrow waist. Good night, husband. He flatlined, fireworks above him. Eventually a rasp, night. Then marched off like a malfunctioning robot. I collapsed in giggles. Julian, countdown to meltdown, ready when you are. Vivian? Why is she calling? So annoying. Not earlier, not later, she had to ring while I'm having breakfast with wifey. Can't let wifey get the wrong idea. Vivian. Must be the white moonlight of 7 years he keeps mentioning. Julian picked up the phone, walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, then answered. He kept his voice low, but I still caught fragments. Hello, something up? I'm busy, let's talk later. After those clipped lines he hung up, face even chillier than before. He came back and sat down, the thought bubbles above his head were still fuming. Out of nowhere, tells me she's back in the country and wants to meet. Meet for what? Do I look free? Also asked if I'm married, voice dripping vinegar. None of her business. Must let wifey find out or she'll think I still care about this woman. I made it clear 7 years ago, she's the one who won't quit. God, was I blind to ever think she was gentle and kind. Stirring my congee lazily, I felt fireworks inside. So the legendary white moonlight is just a one-sided leftover crush. I set the spoon down and asked casually, who was that? Sounded like a girl. Julian's coffee cup hand froze. He lifted his gaze, a flicker of unreadable tension in his eyes. Wifey asked. She heard. Is she mad? What do I do? What do I do? How do I explain? Tell the truth? No, then I'd expose the fact that I lied. Lie? What if she finds out later? Ah, this is hard. He stayed silent a moment, then replied in his usual cool tone, no one important. Oh? I arched a brow and kept prodding. The one you were in love with for 7 years? No. It burst out of him, so loud he startled himself. The dining room fell pin-drop silent. Color crept up from his ears, flooding his face, then his neck in crimson. He cleared his throat awkwardly, gaze dodging mine. I'm doomed, such an overreaction, totally gave myself away. Julian, you idiot. Your Ice King persona just shattered. Wifey will think I'm protesting too much. How do I fix this? Waiting online, urgent. Watching him flail, I bit back laughter and dropped my lashes pitifully. Why so loud? If it's not her, it's not. No need to yell. I only thought you were clarifying because you were afraid I'd misunderstand. My voice was soft, a barely perceptible quaver in it. Julian panicked instantly. I yelled at her? I didn't. Is she crying? Don't cry, wifey, I messed up. I'm trash. How could I shout at the woman I love most? Hurry and coax her, Julian. You blockhead. He opened his mouth, clumsy words stuck somewhere between brain and tongue. Finally he stretched out an arm, nabbed a plump harbor-style shrimp dumpling from the steamer, and set it in my bowl. In a small, muffled voice, eat a dumpling. Me, fine. This is how a straight guy apologizes, simple, brutal honesty. I burst out laughing. He stared, totally lost. She laughed? But she was angry a second ago. Man, women are confusing. I met his bewildered gaze and teased, the dumpling is delicious, and since you're so sincere, I forgive you. Julian's eyes lit up like sunrise. She forgave me. Thank heavens. Wifey's smile is gorgeous, like sunshine. I'll feed her shrimp dumplings every morning from now on. Reading those childish, sincere thought bubbles, my heart softened of its own accord. This man is actually kind of adorable. Chapter 4. On the drive to the Vance estate, Julian kept sneaking glances at me. He thought he was stealthy, but each look flashed clear as skywriting over his head. Wifey looks stunning today. Hope mom likes her. Probably not. Mom's standards are sky high. Better warn her beforehand, no bullying my wifey. Before the car even crawled to a stop, Julian whipped out his phone and fired off a text. Only then did he turn to me. Mom is blunt. Don't take it to heart. If anything happens, I've got you. His expression was grave, his tone earnest. Warmth pooled in my chest. I understand. Inside the parlor, a regal woman sipped tea on a brocade sofa. She wore an exquisite cheapao, hair pinned without a single strand astray. Age had dimmed none of her beauty. Eleanor. Seeing us enter, she flicked an indifferent glance and didn't bother rising. You're here, she said, tone flat. Julian tugged me forward. Mom, this is Sophie. Say hi, wifey. Leave a good impression, his mind howled. I obliged with a smile. Good afternoon, Mrs. Vance. Eleanor's eyes swept me from head to toe, sharp with appraisal, then snorted. Sit. The air congealed. Julian's brows drew tight. What attitude? Unacceptable. Wifey must feel awful. Say something. Before he could, I pulled an exquisitely wrapped box from my bag. Mrs. Vance, a small first meeting gift. Hope you like it. I'd done my homework last night. My hacker buddy dug through Julian's shopping history and found that 2 weeks ago he'd paid a fortune at a niche embroidery studio for a cloud brocade embroidered shawl. That studio's retired master was the idol of Eleanor's youth, and the shawl was said to be the final piece by her only apprentice. 6 months of meticulous handwork. Julian must have bought it to please his mother, but with his reserved personality he probably hadn't handed it over yet. Sure enough, when I lifted the lid and the lustrous shawl spilled out, Eleanor's pupils quivered. This is Master's closed door stitch? Her voice shook. You have an excellent eye, I said. I heard you admire Master's craft. A friend transferred this piece to me. I believe it belongs with someone who truly appreciates it. Carefully Eleanor lifted the shawl, fingertips gliding over every thread, eyes rimmed red. How thoughtful, how thoughtful. Her gaze at me shifted instantly. Julian sat frozen, thunderstruck. Wait, that's the birthday gift I bought for Mom. How is it in wifey's hands? I locked it in the study safe. How did she get it? Don't tell me she's a master thief? No, must have been that useless assistant mixing shipments. Delivered Mom's present to wifey instead. I'm firing him when we get back. But damn, wifey's move was brilliant. Mom's an antique, she laps this stuff up. She'll love wifey now. My wifey's a genius. Alex. Catching a psychic typhoon, I almost laughed out loud. Sorry, Julian, gift loan service, no extra charge. Results, however, were spectacular. Eleanor's attitude flipped 180 degrees. She clasped my hand, asking about everything from childhood hobbies to favorite teas, warmer to me than to her own son. Julian sat opposite, looking utterly redundant. I'd become background decor. Mom, do you still remember who your kid is? But as long as my wifey's happy, it's fine. Halfway through lunch, harmony shattered as an uninvited guest floated in. Mrs. Vance, I came to see you. A willowy vision in a white sundress, long hair swaying, seemingly gentle and harmless, Vivian, entered carrying a fruit basket. She spotted me, smile faltering a millisecond, then glommed onto Eleanor's arm. Mrs. Vance, long time no see. Have you been well? Eleanor clearly knew her, patting her hand. Viv, weren't you coming back next week? I missed you, so I flew in early, Vivian cooed, gaze skimming to Julian and me. And this is? Julian's face iced over. How did she track me here? Like a ghost. Cue the drama. Wonderful. Before Eleanor could introduce us, I looped my arm through Julian's and flashed a toothache sweet smile. Hi, I'm Julian's wife, Sophie. I stressed the word wife. Julian stiffened but didn't pull away. Above his head, fireworks erupted. Wifey's holding my arm. She's claiming me, right? Yes. Totally is. My wifey's so cool. So dominant. Vivian's complexion bleached. Chapter 5. The careful gentleness on Vivian's face cracked. Forcing a smile, voice trembling, she stared straight at Julian as if begging for denial. Wife. Jules, when did you get married? Julian frowned, about to speak. None of your business. Quit looking at me like that, we're strangers. Wifey's here, draw a line. I beat him to it, sweeter than ever, body pressed closer. We signed the papers last week. Viv, didn't Julian tell you? Well, marriage is personal, we only notified close family and friends. Subtext Crystal, you, Vivian, are neither close nor friend, merely miscellaneous. Julian, hearing me repeat our Julian, nearly levitated from joy. She said our Julian. Listen, she claimed me, so happy I could spin in circles. Vivian's pallor deepened. Biting her lip, near tears, she turned to Eleanor. Mrs. Vance, Moments ago Eleanor had been pleased, but now she read the room. Expression cooling, she said, Viv, you're back early, have a seat. This is my daughter-in-law, Sophie. A blunt hammer blow, Eleanor's stance. Vivian had assumed she was the only prospective bride in Eleanor's eyes. At the table, atmosphere turned surreal. Vivian sat opposite me, fawning nonstop. Mrs. Vance, try this, you always loved it. Jules, your stomach is delicate, skip the iced water. She reached for his glass. Julian's brows snapped together, he slid the cup away. Mind your own business. My wifey hasn't lectured me, your turn? Besides, my wifey already asked the kitchen to serve warm water this morning. I sipped soup, then placed a forkful of greens into his bowl. Husband, doctor's orders, more vegetables. Avery, he obediently ate every bite of the despised veggies, head bowed like a scolded golden retriever. Wifey personally served me. Even poison I'd swallow. Vivian, observe. This is marriage. Vivian's knuckles whitened around her chopsticks. Unwilling to yield, she tried again. Jules, remember? 7 years ago today we planted that gardenia tree in your backyard. I wonder how it's doing. Her tone drenched in nostalgic implication. Eleanor's hand paused midair. Julian's expression went arctic. Gardenia tree? What's that? Oh, her thing. She dragged me to plant it, some symbol of friendship. Bored me to death. Only dug because her dad and mine worked together. Pretty sure it croaked the next year. Why's her memory laser locked on useless junk? I almost choked on my rice. Turns out the so-called token of love was, in the eyes of the person it was meant for, nothing more than a silly childhood game, one that had ended in heartbreak ages ago. Watching Vivian's face glow with sentimental nostalgia, I thought she looked like a clown directing her own one-woman circus. Before Julian could speak, I gave a little gasp and widened my eyes at her. Viv, you don't mean that dead tree in the backyard, do you? Vivian's smile froze. Dead tree? I answered innocently. When I arrived the other day I spotted this withered old eyesore, so I asked the gardener to chop it down. Husband, I didn't overstep, did I? I swiveled my head and batted my lashes at him. Julian caught my gaze and instantly caught on. Chop it, baby. Wifey's awesome. Should be been done years ago, nothing but bad feng shui. My wifey's weeding my rotten peach blossoms for me, she's perfection. He nodded, dead calm. You did the right thing. This house has no room for deadwood, a double entendre. Color drained from Vivian's cheeks, she looked as white as parchment. She probably never imagined her meticulously prepared reminiscence kill would be chopped down with such casual indifference. She barely touched her food for the rest of the meal. When we left the old Vance estate, she came running after us. She blocked the car, eyes rimmed red, staring at Julian. Jules, tell me, are you under some kind of duress? You don't love her, right? You married her just to help your family, or to spite me? Julian's brows slammed together. Is this woman delusional? Who I love is none of your business. Make her leave. I want to go home with wifey, now. I lounged in the back seat, enjoying the show. Julian opened the door and stepped between us, voice glacial. Casey, show some self-respect. Sophie is my wife, and she's the one I love. Past, present, future. As for you, we were over long ago. Don't ever disturb our life again. Without another glance at Vivian, he climbed in and slammed the door shut. Drive. The car sped off, leaving her standing in the swirling dust. I studied Julian's tight profile and the thought bubbles still scrolling above his head, feeling fizzy with sweetness. Phew, finally said it. Wifey heard, right? I love her. Was I cool just now? Is she going to idolize me? I leaned over and brushed a kiss to his cheek. Husband, you were super cool back there. Julian. He went stone still, the barrage over his head turned to garbled code. Hashtag at hashtag you and percent. She kissed me, she kissed me, she kissed me. My first kiss, on the cheek, is gone. Happiness overload, need oxygen. He sat bolt upright, cheeks shifting from pale to pink to tomato red within seconds. Watching this adorable, innocent boy, I thought, our contract marriage is becoming way too fun. Chapter 6. Back at Cloud Peak Mansion, Julian remained in a trance the whole way. He marched out of sync, fumbled with the key for ages, and almost poured water over himself while drinking. His thought bubbles kept tearing themselves apart. Wifey kissed me. Does that mean she likes me too? Of course. Who kisses a contract hubby unless she's into him? Wait, what if it was just gratitude for saving her? Should I ask? No, if the answer's wrong it'll be mortifying. I slipped off my heels and watched him battle himself in the foyer, half amused, half exasperated. Julian, I called. Huh? He jumped like a startled bunny. What's with you? You're sleepwalking, I teased, feigning ignorance. His gaze skittered away, the tips of his ears reddened. And nothing. Might be, tired. Like I'd admit my CPU fried because you pecked me. Get a grip, Julian, you're an ice-cold CEO. I walked up and pressed a hand to his forehead. No fever. The instant my fingers touched his skin he shivered. She touched me, so soft, so cool, heaven. I'm alive again. He jerked back, voice taut. I'm fine. Heading up, he bolted upstairs like the hounds of hell were after him. I collapsed in laughter at his retreat. Later, lying in bed scrolling on my phone, a text from Dad popped up. Sweetie, Julian's an angel. A mysterious investor called JC just filled our biggest hole, for only 5% equity. Pure philanthropy. I checked, JC Capital is shadowy but loaded. No one knows the boss. Think it could be Julian? I raised an eyebrow. JC. Julian. Didn't take a genius. I set the phone down, padded to his door, and found it ajar. His muffled voice drifted out. Yes, anonymous, no ties to Vance Group. Shares? As few as possible, profit's not the point. Keep it clean, don't let her find out. I leaned on the frame, listening to his calm, measured orders. This man always moved mountains for me in silence, terrified I'd feel indebted. Too bad the hyperactive thought bubbles above his head had spilled every secret. Wifey's company is safe, finally. She won't have to exhaust herself anymore. Good thing I was faster. If Dad's old fox had acted first he'd swallow the Vancess. My wifey's brilliant, her firm will conquer the world. I'm her fortress. The call ended, silence settled. I pushed the door open. He stood by the window and spun around, panic flashing in his eyes. Why are you here? She heard? No way, I kept my voice down. Cool it, Julian, don't crack. I stopped in front of him, looking up. Dad just messaged, some mystery savior named JC rode to our rescue, I said, studying his face. Any chance that's you? Impossible. He denied instantly, steel in his tone. We have a contract, I'm not obliged to bail you out. The crueler his words, the more cowardly the bubble barrage overhead. Yep, it's me, praise me, please don't buy my lie. I just don't want you feeling you owe me. Ugh, lying kills me. His stubborn act practically begged me to toy with him. I stepped back, smile fading. Right. My mistake. I lowered my lashes, voice small. I actually thought, maybe you treated me differently. Guess I imagined it. Sorry, Julian, for bothering you. I turned to leave. Wait. He seized my wrist, palm burning. I glanced back, anxiety and regret fractured his usual composure. The bubbles above were on fire. Crap. Wrong move. She thinks I hate her. Tears made wifey cry. Monster. Explain. Say JC is me, because I love you. His mouth opened, face crimson, throat bobbing, no sound. Finally, resolve slammed down, he yanked me into a suffocating hug. His chest was hard, heart drumming against my ear. No. He mumbled into my neck, lost and plaintive, it wasn't your imagination. Chapter 7. My body stilled under the shock of his warmth. It was our first real embrace, and he clung as though trying to merge our bones. I felt every frantic beat of his heart and watched the thought storm erupt. I'm holding her. I'm holding her, so soft, so fragrant. I said not your imagination. Next line? Confess flat out? I love you, 10 years? Too sudden, might scare her. But I'm already hugging, awkward if I don't explain. Why is life so hard? Buried against him, I smiled at his internal meltdown. This guileless boy was lethal cute. I slid my arms around his waist and pressed my face to his chest. Julian, I murmured, you're hurting me. He jolted, releasing me as if electrocuted, flustered and contrite. Sorry, So, I cut in, meeting his eyes. What does not my imagination mean? I advanced, he retreated emotionally, cheeks on fire, tongue-tied. The bubbles screamed, say it. Say you like her. Admit everything you do is for her. Idiot, miss this chance and it's gone. I'm dying here. Accepting he'd never volunteer, I sighed and switched tactics. Forget it. I shook my head, feigning disappointment. We're only contract spouses, after all. I pivoted toward the door. It's me, his desperate admission rang out. I paused, looked back. He stared, drained, and spat out each word, JC, that's me. At last, I lifted a brow, waiting. He sucked in air, eyes shutting, and rattled off, I meddled with your company on my own, it has nothing to do with you, no strings. I just can't stand watching you beg for money. If it bothers you, return the shares, treat the cash as a loan, no, a gift. Just don't ignore me. The torrent ended on a pleading note, his bubbles broadcast his despair in real time. Done for, everything's out. She'll think I schemed to buy her. She'll feel I look down on her. Wifey, please don't hate me. Seeing him braced for eviction, equal parts tender and hilarious, my heart melted. Idiot. I closed the gap and pinched his burning earlobe. Julian, yeah? He waited like a convict for sentencing. Thank you, I said. He froze. Thank me? She's not mad? She doesn't suspect an ulterior motive? Why would I be mad? I read his mind aloud, smiling. When my husband quietly fixes every problem and even protects my fragile pride, what else can I feel but gratitude? Or, I leaned closer, dropping my voice, do you believe, because we're contract spouses, I shouldn't accept help from you? That's not what I meant, he blurted. Then what do you mean? I pressed. He choked again. That handsome face was a billboard screaming I like you but I don't dare say it. I decided to give him one last shove. Julian, I said, locking eyes with him, I know we started as a transaction. But right now I think, maybe we can try to be more than that. His pupils blew wide. The thought bubbles over his head froze for 3 seconds, then erupted like an avalanche and a tsunami. What did she just say? What did she say? She said we can try. Round that up and it means she likes me too. I'm getting married. Wait, I'm already married. I'm about to have a real wifey. Aha. He was trembling all over, lips quivering, too pumped to push out a sound. Looking at this adorable fool, I took his hand first. So, Ellis, are you willing to try a real marriage with me? He nodded hard, eyes sparkling like galaxies, almost blinding. I do. His voice was hoarse yet rock solid. At that moment, watching the bubbles overhead, wifey I love you, I'll treat you right forever, a warm tide filled my chest. Julian, my treasured husband, this time, let me be the one to walk toward you. Chapter 8. After we defined the relationship, Julian became a completely different person. On the surface he still clung to his icy, abstinent CEO persona, but the pink bubble thought bubbles over his head sold him out 24/7. In the morning he woke up half an hour early to cook breakfast himself. While he watched me eat, the bubbles read, wifey's eating my breakfast sandwich. Looks so good. Eat more, fatten my wifey up. Breadcrumb on her lip. I wanna lick it off. Ugh, Julian, you beast. At night he'd be parked outside my office right on time. The second I slid into the car he handed me a cup of warmed milk. Wifey worked hard, drink some milk to recharge. Some male colleague walked her back to the office today, smiling like an idiot, so mad. Gotta mark my territory. Emory, next day every employee at Vance received an afternoon tea delivery from JC Capital. Printed on each pastry box in tiny letters, wishing the president's wife a smooth workday. The whole company exploded. My assistant, holding a piece of tiramisu and sparkling eyes, scooted over. President Sophie, this JC Capital is your mysterious husband's company, right? So doting. I glanced at the discreet black Bentley outside the window and laughed helplessly. This childish man. The biggest change was our bedroom situation. That night I came out of the shower to find a human-shaped lump in my bed. Julian, in pajamas, lay stiffly on the far side, eyes closed, breathing even, pretending to be asleep. But the bubbles overhead gave him away. Wifey's out. Is she gonna kick me off? So nervous, heart's gonna explode. Told you this plan was stupid. I should have just asked to sleep together. What now? Keep pretending? I walked to the bedside and looked down at him. Julian. His body stiffened, but he stubbornly kept his eyes shut. Cut it out, I poked his cheek. Your lashes are twitching like a sieve. He finally opened his eyes slowly, all fake innocence. Wifey, the AC unit in my room broke. The excuse was pathetically lame. Is this reason too fake? Will she buy it? Whatever, desperate times. I stared at him in silence. Growing guiltier by the second, his gaze started drifting. Really, it's broken, you can go check. Enough. I cut him off. If you want to sleep together just say so, why make up stuff? I lifted the duvet and slid in. Julian was stunned. She agreed? Am I dreaming? I'm gonna sleep with my wifey. He excitedly pulled the covers and lay beside me. We were divided by a clear River Anhan border. He lay ramrod straight, not daring to move, like a soldier about to blow up a bunker. I wanna hug her. No, I'll scare her. But I really wanna. In the dark I sighed, rolled over, and proactively snuggled into his arms. Sleep. Julian's body turned to stone. A few beats later he cautiously wrapped his arms around me. I'm holding wifey. Soft and sweet smelling. Feels like I own the whole world. Wifey, good night, I love you. Listening to his heartfelt confession and the steady drum of his heartbeat, I closed my eyes, safe and sound. Life with this tsundere, adorable husband was fun every single day. But the calm didn't last, an unexpected person smashed it. I was in a meeting when assistant knocked and entered, face odd. President Sophie, downstairs, a Mrs. Ashford says your mother-in-law sent her. Vivian? What now? And my mother-in-law, so warm to me days ago, why summon Vivian all of a sudden? A bad premonition bubbled up. Down in Starbucks I saw Vivian and Eleanor seated together. Eleanor's face was thunderous. When she saw me, disappointment and rage flashed in her eyes. Vivian looked full of grievance and worry. She even stood when she saw me. Sophie, you're here. Auntie, hurry and explain to her. Explain? Explain what? Baffled, I turned to Eleanor. Auntie, what happened? Eleanor said nothing. She slammed a stack of doctored photos onto the table. See for yourself. I picked them up and my pupils shrank. In them I was with a strange man. Hotel corridor background, shot from a tricky angle, looked like the man was about to kiss me and I wasn't resisting. What is this? Eleanor's voice shook. Sophie, I thought you were a good girl. How could you do something so shameless? Don't you feel sorry for Julian? I understood instantly. A trap. Calmly studying the doctored photos, my mind raced. They'd been taken last week when I was on a business trip to the next town. That night the partner was drunk and insisted on walking me to my room. In the corridor he tugged me once. I shoved him away immediately and warned him sternly. Someone had caught that second and edited it. Auntie, it's not what you think, I began. It's a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Vivian jumped in, voice dripping heartbreak. Sophie, I saw it too. I happened to be at that hotel. I watched you two go into the room together. Auntie, Jules is so good to her, how could she do this to him? She wiped tears, acting her heart out. Eleanor looked from her to me, suspicion and anger deepening. Sophie, what else have you got to say? Seeing Vivian's saint act, I gave a cold laugh. Fine, acting? Anyone can play. My eyes reddened, tears arrived on cue, voice turning whimpery. Auntie, I really didn't. I don't know why Viv is saying this. I know she's always liked Julian, maybe she's jealous and trying to set me up. I clutched Eleanor's sleeve, crying pitifully. Julian and I are so happy, how could I cheat? Auntie, you have to believe me. Vivian hadn't expected me to outact her and froze. Eleanor glanced between us, one sobbing prettily, one wailing tragically, and wavered. Just then the cafe door opened. Julian walked in. Immaculate suit, face arctic, aura overpowering. He came straight to me, draped his jacket over my shoulders, pulled me into his arms, and patted my back. Don't be scared, I'm here. He didn't even glance at the doctored photos or ask me a single question. He simply, unconditionally, believed me. Chapter 9. Julian's entrance felt like a shot of adrenaline, my panic vanished. He placed me behind him and swept Eleanor and Vivian with an icy stare. Mom, what's going on? His voice was cold, accusatory. Eleanor was intimidated into silence. Vivian grabbed the lifeline, stepping forward with the doctored photos. Jules, look. Sophie, she cheated on you with another man in a hotel. Julian didn't even twitch. Over his head, a hurricane had already broken. This woman again. Dare frame my wifey? Seeking death. This level of Photoshop evidence and she parades it? You think I'm blind? My wifey cried, my heart's in pieces. Vivian, you're finished. Photoshop evidence? Startled, I inspected the picture again. Sure enough, where the man's arm met my shoulder there was an unnatural shadow, something only an expert would spot. Julian had seen it at a glance. Jules, say something. Don't you believe me? Vivian panicked when he stayed silent. I saw it with my own eyes. Julian finally looked at her, like she was a corpse. You saw it? He sneered. Vivian, do you know the legal term for forging evidence and defamation? Vivian's face drained of color. Julian took out his phone and dialed. Attorney Lee? Come to Starbucks. Someone here forged evidence and maliciously defamed my wife. Soft voice, icy blades, every word stabbed Vivian. No. Jules, I didn't. Vivian turned to Eleanor, desperate. Auntie, back me up. I'm telling the truth. Eleanor was dazed, swinging her gaze among Julian, Vivian, and me, unsure whom to trust. Julian, you. Mom, he cut in, tired and disappointed. I thought you'd ask me first, ask your daughter-in-law, before bringing an outsider to interrogate her. Eleanor's lips moved, no sound came. Julian ignored them. He lowered his head, gently wiped my tears, voice dropping 8 degrees softer. All right, no more crying. Let's go home. I nodded and let him lead me out. As we passed Vivian I paused and whispered so only she could hear, Casey, next time you frame me, hire a better Photoshop artist. And, I smiled by her ear, stop wasting effort. From start to finish, this man belongs to me alone. Without glancing at her chalk-white face, I hooked my arm through Julian's and walked out tall. Back home Julian sat me on the sofa, went to the kitchen, and poured me hot water. He settled beside me, cupping my face, studying me carefully, eyes all swollen like a little bunny's. It's my fault for not protecting her. I won't let Vivian off. He sighed and pulled me into his arms, chin resting on my head. Sorry you had to suffer. It's not suffering, I mumbled. With you here, I'm not. He hugged me tighter. Sophie, remember, no matter what happens, I'll always believe you and stand by you. His voice was low, steady, the warmest promise in the world. My heart was so full it felt swollen with a feeling I could only call happiness. Julian, I said, tilting my head to look at him, thank you. He lowered his head and kissed my forehead. Silly girl, we're husband and wife. I want to kiss her lips. The mood feels right, can I? What if she turns me down? Forget it, I'm going for it. Watching his gorgeous face come closer and the battle cry banner scrolling above his head, I shut my eyes. A soft, tentative, almost shy kiss landed on my lips. Outside the window, the sun was perfect. Chapter 10. Vivian's downfall was brutal. Julian moved fast. The next day, cease and desist letters from my attorney and from Julian's firm arrived at her door simultaneously. The photoshopped evidence she'd used to frame me was ironclad, and with Julian squeezing from behind, her reputation collapsed overnight. Her father's company, having offended the Vance family, watched its stock nosedive toward bankruptcy. Word was she begged Julian, camping below his office for a day and a night, but he never even appeared. Once Vivian was finished, Julian turned his sights on his mother. That evening he took me back to the Vance mansion. Eleanor's expression went stiff the instant she saw us. She wanted to speak but couldn't swallow her pride. Julian cut straight to the point. Mom, I want you to apologize to Sophie. Eleanor's face froze. I was tricked by that Viv girl. Besides, I'm your mother. Why should I apologize to her? Because you are my mother, you should trust my choice, Julian said quietly, though his tone was steel. Sophie is my wife, the Vance family's daughter-in-law. I won't allow anyone, including you, to hurt her like this again. Wifey, wasn't I awesome? Facing down my mom for you, epic enough? Praise me, hurry. Watching him defend me so solemnly while internally begging for applause almost made me burst out laughing. Cornered by her son, Eleanor turned pale with anger. I hurried over, tugged Julian's sleeve, and told her, Mrs. Vance, let the past be past. I know you acted out of concern. We're family, let's not let outsiders split us. I handed her a graceful exit. Eleanor's face softened, her gaze at me grew complicated. Sophie, this time, Mom was wrong, she sighed at last, finally lowering her head. The family stormed past just like that. On the ride home Julian kept sneaking glances at me. Wifey's so sweet, she even spoke up for Mom. Kind and generous, how did I land such an amazing wifey? Gotta treasure her for life. Suddenly he spoke. Sophie, let's have a daughter someday. I blinked. Why? A little girl who looks like you, he said, eyes sparkling like starlight. Then I can spoil both of you like princesses. Right then my heart melted into a puddle. I leaned over and brushed his lips with mine. Okay. What if we get a boy? Julian pondered, dead serious. Then he'll be like me, and the two of us men will protect you. Wifey kissed me again. Yes. Was that answer perfect or what? Can I apply to share a blanket tonight? Reading the childish thought bubbles over his head, I smiled so wide my eyes curved. Approved. HM? Approved what? He looked utterly lost. I leaned to his ear and whispered, approved, tonight we share a blanket. Julian's face exploded crimson. Chapter 11. Ever since the share a blanket promise, Julian's happiness became pure and simple. Every night, like an oversized puppy waiting to be fed, he washed up early, claimed his half of the bed, and watched me with eager eyes. The moment I lay down he'd scoot over and carefully wrap his arms around me. Wifey smells amazing. Sleeping while holding wifey, life complete. Want to do more? No. Julian, stay pure. Don't scare wifey. His mental chatter usually cracked me up. I'd bury my face in his chest, shoulders shaking as I stifled laughter. He'd ask nervously, what's wrong? Cold? I'd say, nope, just thinking, you're adorable. Then he'd freeze, thought bubbles exploding. Wifey called me cute, I'm dead. Our bond heated up fast through these sweet, hilarious nights. With JC Capital's quiet backing, my company stabilized and quickly outperformed its past. Everything felt like a dream. One afternoon happened to be our first wedding anniversary. Secretive all day, Julian told me he'd prepared a surprise for tonight. I couldn't focus, excitement buzzing through me. That evening he drove me to an open-air restaurant by the sea. He'd booked the entire place, rose petals underfoot, a lone violin drifting through the salt breeze. Like it? He asked, anxious. Hope wifey doesn't think this tacky. Took forever to set up. What if she finds it corny? I grinned. Love it, absolutely. He exhaled, relief washing over him, and pulled out my chair like a gentleman. Dinner was lavish, the mood magical. Halfway through, he produced a velvet box, dropped to one knee. My heart skipped a beat. He opened the box, revealing a dazzling engagement ring. Sophie, he said, eyes lifted to mine, more earnest than I'd ever seen. Our wedding happened in a rush. I never gave you a real proposal. I know we began as a deal, but for me it was the culmination of 10 secret years of longing. I spent ages choosing this ring. I love you, this isn't impulse, it's a premeditated vow. So, Sophie, my wife, will you truly marry me? His voice quavered with nerves, the thought bubbles mirrored him. Will she say yes? She has to, right? What if she thinks it's too fast? Julian, confidence, go. Nearby servers quietly gathered, chanting, say yes. Say yes. Tears blurred my vision as I stared at the man kneeling before me, gorgeous, wealthy, brilliant, yet as clumsy and sincere as a first-time teenager. I extended my hand. Yes. His breath left him in a rush. Inside, fireworks erupted. She said yes. World's happiest man right here. He slid the ring on, jumped up, swept me into his arms, and spun me round and round. Wifey. I love you. At last he shouted it for the world, no longer caging his heart. Laughing, I hooked my arms around his neck and kissed him deeply. Julian, I love you too. Chapter 12. The morning after the proposal, I made a decision. I would tell Julian my secret. I could hear every thought in his head. Real husband and wife shouldn't hide the impossible from each other. That night, snuggled in bed as usual, I lay against him listening to the familiar stream of "wifey smells good" and "wifey so soft." Julian, I began, there's something I need to tell you. What is it? He kissed my hair. Wifey sounds grave. Don't let her say she never loved me, please no. Seeing the instant alarm scrolling above him, I giggled. Relax, it's nothing bad, just magical. I inhaled, choosing words. From the day we got hitched, I've been able to hear what you're thinking. Silence swallowed the room. His arms around me went rigid, the thought bar above his head blanked. 10 seconds later, a tiny bubble quivered up. Come again? Then another, and another. She hears my thoughts? Like, every single one? All those "wifey smells good," "wanna kiss," "wanna cuddle?" Even the Viv scram and "mom's an idiot?" After a split-second lag, the screen detonated in a hurricane of red exclamation points and, I'm doomed. His face went white, flushed crimson, then violet, colors rotating like a neon sign. He sprang free, vaulted out of bed, and paced barefoot, moaning. Social death. I can't show my face. My Ice King CEO persona is shredded. She'll think I'm a perv. Wifey's gonna divorce me. Watching his meltdown, I rolled on the mattress laughing. Hey, stop running. He halted, back to me, radiating despair. So, you heard everything? He croaked. Yep, the whole playlist. I nodded. A strangled groan escaped as he buried his face in his hands. I walked over and wrapped my arms around him from behind. Tell me, I whispered against his ear, how does it feel to pine for someone 10 whole years? Quinn? He trembled like a leaf in October wind. Stop. And, I teased, all those thoughts you cuddle me with at night, want me to help you act them out? His ears glowed crimson. Suddenly he spun, scooped me up, tossed me onto the bed, and loomed over me, eyes blazing, half mortified, half on fire. Sophie, he rasped, teeth clenched, you asked for this. Above him the thought ticker surrendered completely, a chaotic confession. Forget dignity, she already knows everything. Wifey, I love you. Tonight I become a real man. Smiling, I laced my fingers behind his neck and pulled him down. Bring it on, I'm ready. Moonlight spilled gently through the window. Our story had only just begun. Turns out marrying a man who secretly adored you for 10 years is the happiest, funniest adventure you can live. The end. Thanks for listening. If you loved this tale, give us a thumbs up and share it with friends. Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. See you next time.